Assalamu alaikum. Beautiful night sky in Lahore. Uh, it's what is the 15th of July 2025. So today's vlog is on a very interesting aspect. Now it has many aspects, to really understand uh, uh, at the level of knowledge creation, at the level of policy. Being an economist, uh, that is my interest. I have an academic background, uh, whereas I have carried out academic research or I'm writing books to then get a lot of clarity for even myself about different theoretical paradigms that can be adopted to then understand uh, uh, economics and economic policy making. So before I go into that, I have already been writing books with advanced artificial language models, uh, ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, uh, Subturing Chatbot, especially is provided by Professor Brad DeLong of California University, Berkeley. While at the same time, a lot of work is based on the arguments and the literature uh, that is developed by American, European professors. For example, MIT's Daniel Acemoglu, Harvard University's Daniel Roderick, Professor Daniel Roderick, Cambridge University, England's Hajiman Chan, Paul Krugman, Joseph Stiglitz. So there's uh, their lectures are available on YouTube. Their papers are available to be downloaded. If you have subscription of international journals, one of the best works of economics are represented by the writings of these professors, and there are so many other great economists. And definitely, Pak also have great economists, but if you are following my vlogs, theoretical contribution to literature is different than contribution to policy making. Policy research, that would be, and American think tanks or European think tanks or Pakistani think tanks like Prime or STPI would then have a lot of value. In policy suggestions, policy papers, policy briefs that have a little bit of different orientation than an academic paper or a research paper, which would contribute to knowledge creation. So how do they then connect uh, these different aspects? I mean, if I'm saying that it is now well understood in the policy world that education, different levels of education and their attainment is important for economic growth, GDP per capita improvements. Good education would allow you to benefit from international trade. Within social sector, health facilitation is also very important. While at the same time, a physically fit and intelligent uh, um, household member would greatly contribute to local, regional, and national development. Similarly, the issue of poverty, issue of inequality is well understood. Especially, the most comprehensive framework is available and could be understood through following United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Uh, there are international institutions of governance as well. So, how I started, I'll just give you a very brief story of how I learned economics and what were the challenges and what did I really understood, and what are the being academic. There are a lot of things I don't understand, and I would be discussing one of the things that I don't understand. I have spent years and years of thinking, but still couldn't get hold of how I should then understand it really. While at the same time in a think tank like Prime, I was also contributing towards policy making. Yes, my friends, the world of academy and the world of theory and the world of academic research is very different from policy making. That is why I would say that it took me decades to then understand that in Ministry of Finance you can have a banker, international banker, or chartered accountant, or maybe an economist who specializes in monetary economics. Uh, Similarly, policy making has a very wide connotation. Uh, for example, in Pakistan, policy making is done by not only planning commission, which is one of the best economists of Pakistan, who is inherently an engineer and an MBA, respected Ahsan Iqbal. Professor Ahsan Iqbal is the minister, and uh, I mean, when you listen to him, you learn a lot of economics. And planning commission is strategizing about economic, social, political policies for Pakistan, not only for the short term but the long term. Whereas finance ministry is, the biggest achievement of the finance ministry is indeed that our finance minister Muhammad Aurangzeb is able to stabilize the economy, and his team has worked really hard. The bureaucracy has worked. So policy making has a little bit of a different connotation than academia and academic research within economics as well. For Pakistan, policy making would be at local level, would be at level of town and city, would be at a provincial level, as well as would be at a national level. While there is national parliament through which certain policies are being represented, shared with the policymakers, the politicians, and then new rules and regulations would be adopted through parliamentary resolutions. While at the same time, Pakistan's bureaucracy, which is of international standards, now Pakistan's bureaucracy represents one of the best standards of governance, would as well be inherently part of national governance and policy making. Pakistan security apparatus has a lot of great input about Pakistan's security, while at the same time, contributing towards Pakistan's foreign policy and its strategic direction. Similarly, the government, represented by politicians, bureaucracy, and security apparatus, would then be, applying knowledge, while at the same time the knowledge is not really academic and concentrated towards academic books, but it would have a far more sophisticated characteristic to it, like understanding people. For example, of politicians in a democracy in Pakistan, politicians have to, really be genuine, dynamic, resilient, hardworking.